Simulan po natin yung report kay Miss Jessa May Bodiit.
So, scene of the crime operation are also known as BSCRIM. It is a forensic procedure performed by trained personnel of the PNP Crime Laboratory through scientific method of investigation for the purpose of preserving the crime scene, gathering information, documentation, collection, and examination of all physical evidence. So the SOCO, these are the people who are either attached directly to a police officer or employed by the security service. They work to solve murders and other crimes. The job of SOCO involves going to crime scenes or like murder or arson, etc. They collect evidence to use to find the arrest of the suspect. So they also collecting and analyzing the evidence to catch the criminal. So yung SOCO po is nagko-collect yan ng evidence para magamit sa court of law para magpatunayan if that someone is guilty or not guilty. And so ano yung ginagawa ng SOCO sa loob ng crime scene? So first, the SOCO must wear the correct gear in order to enter the crime scene so that the people entered do not contaminate in the scene anyway. Second, they would have to secure the crime scene and log everyone who enter and exit the area. Tapos na press. Next is the mission po of the SOCO.
SOCO mission. The SOCO shall provide forensic The SOCO shall provide forensic expertise to criminal investigation by preserving, securing, and if need be, by scientifically constructing the crime scene for the collection, documentation, and forensic examination of all collected physical evidence in a view of establishing facts relative to criminal incidents. The mission of the SOCO is to collect evidences to secure them for them to able to help the investigators in solving crime. Okay na, press.
So let's go to the general objectives of SOCO. The first one is to obtain maximum information from the crime scene based on the scientific techniques. They would help the field of criminal investigators on the early filing of criminal cases, particularly heinous crimes that will surely end up in the successful prosecution and conviction of the perpetrator of the crime. So there are a lot of people na nako-confused between sa job ng ating investigator and the SOCO team. Ang akala nila is pag merong first responder na nag-respond sa ating crime scene, ang akala nila is yun na mismo yung magko-collect ng evidence. So, ang duty lang po ng ating first responder is to secure the crime scene, the area of the crime scene. Ang ating SOCO po ang in charge sa pag-collect ng evidence, not only the physical, but also the information and documents, even the smallest details na nandoon sa ating crime scene. The next one is to orient the field investigators regarding the importance of SOCO in the investigations of criminal cases. So, SOCO plays a very crucial role in an investigation. Since sila po yung nagko-collect ng ating evidence, kailangan makipag-coordinate ng ating investigators sa SOCO team para ma-file ng maayos yung case na dapat doon sa ating suspects. For example po, hindi sila nagkaroon ng communication, magkakaroon ng conflict sa file na case ng ating investigators sa ating suspect. Let's go with number 3. To prevent overlapping or duplication of functions between the scene of the crime operators and the criminal investigators in the processing of a crime scene. So ito na po yung sinasabi ko kanina. For example is yung Dasera case. Pagka kita ng body is nag-assume agad yung ating investigators na yung crime is rape with homicide. Kahit wala pa silang enough evidence, is nag-file na agad sila ng case sa ating suspects. Doon pa lang nagkaroon tayo ng malaking conflict. Since pagkalabas ng ating medical legal is the cause of death is natural only, na-confuse or nagkaroon ng malaking confusion between dun sa ating suspects and sa family ng ating victim. Ganun po yung mangyayari if ever na pinagsawalang bahala ng ating investigators yung lahat ng nakokolek na evidence sa ating crime scene from the SOCO team. The next one. Lastly, to make sure SOCO, a vital or indispensable part of criminal investigation in order to ensure successful prosecution of criminal cases in court. So, kagaya ng sa ating first general objectives is trabaho ng ating SOCO team na mag-collect ng evidence, physical, and documents or information. So, napakalaking part nila sa ating, para maging successful ang ating pag-file ng criminal cases or prosecution sa ating court since sa kanila po manggagaling lahat ng informations about sa case na nangyari. Thank you.
So next po tayo ngayon, di ba po nalaman na natin yung general objectives and mission ng SOCO. So punta naman po tayo sa classification of cases for crime lab assistance. So ano nga ba yung crime laboratory? Dito, ang sabi, crime laboratory is a unit that provides scientific and technical investigative aid and support to PNP and other government investigative agencies. Sa crime laboratory, nandito yung mga expert na nagpa-process sa crime scene investigation and evidence. So nandito, una, paraffin examination of suspects or victims shooting incidents that are confined in hospitals. So yung paraffin examination po, ginagawa po yan sa mga person of interest na nagpaputok po ng barel. Yung paraffin po, yung parang pulbura na nanggaling sa bala na kumapit sa may kamay ng person of interest po nila. So ang gumagawa po nun is yung mga member ng crime laboratory para malaman kung sila nga ba talaga yung nagpaputok ng barel through paraffin examination. So pangalawa, conduct qualitative or quantitative examination of fake products in other government or private laboratories in case of unfair trade. Sir, magpuputol-putol po sir, mahina po yung signal.
No.
Oy.
Nangyari.
Wait lang.
Sige.
Mahina kasi kapag inopen ko, uputol-putol.
Sige.
So yun na nga sa number 2 po, yung conduct qualitative or quantitative examination of fake products in other government or private laboratories in case of unfair trade competition. So dito, yung trabaho po ng SOCO dito ay ng SOCO na member po ng crime laboratory is yung Halimbawa po, di ba, meron dito, usong-uso po sa atin yung mga imitation na inagaya po nila yung different brand na sikat, tapos i-imitate nila through local lang po, yung tinatawag pong mga class A or class B na products po. So, yun, para maiwasan po yun sa unfair trade competition. Kumbaga, trabaho po ng crime laboratory po na i-check yun para po sa hindi nga po magkaroon ng unfair trade competition. Tapos next is collection of urine sample for drug test. Ito, alam naman natin, kahit sa naman nagkakaroon ng sample ng drug test, kahit sa school, sa mga pagkuha ng mga driver's license, mga ganon. Pero yung sa drug test, halimbawa sa crime, di ba, meron tayong isang bus bumangga sa kahit ano lang, sa may, basta makakuha siya ng damage to property, ganon. So, ang trabaho ng SOCO dito is para ma-identify nila kung gumagamit ng drugs yung isang driver is yung true urine sample niya. Next. Number 4, collection of paint fragments, fibers, and glass fractures at the crime scene in cases of vehicular accidents. So, yun nga po, di ba? Halimbawa, meron vehicular accidents na nangyari. So, hindi naman po natin masasabi yung kung ano talaga yung dahilan ng aksidente na yun hangga't di po nalalaman ng mga SOCO team or ng mga taga-crime laboratory kung ano ba talaga yung pinagmula nun. Halimbawa kasi parang kailangan nila ng mga fragments, fibers or glass fractures na katunayan na yun talaga yung nangyari para makatulong sa criminal investigator na mapadali o masolve yung kaso. Halimbawa, sa nawalan ng preno yung isang sasakyan. So, paano nila malalaman o mapapatunayan na nawalan talaga ng preno yung isang sasakyan? Siyempre, gagawan nila yun ng parang investigation about doon. Tapos, number 5, collection of assets and debris in relation in arson cases. So, dito naman po, yung assets and debris, nakakatulong yan para malaman kung ano ba yung ginamit ng suspect sa pagsunog sa isang bagay o tao o mga bahay, ganon. Diyan nila sa pagkuha ng mga debris, pwede yun examine ng mga SOCO team para malaman nila kung ano talaga yung ginamit sa pagsunog sa bagay. Next. Bullet trajectory examination of motor vehicles at the crime scene. So dito, yung bullet trajectory examination of motor vehicles, yung bullet trajectory examination parang sa may ballistics ata to. Kaso wala pa tayo nun eh. Pero sa base sa na-research ko, ito yung parang pag-examine kung saan pinutok o sinut nung person of interest or suspect yung baril. Tapos yung trabaho ng SOCO dyan, susukatin nila kung saan ba yung exact location, kung saan yung mismong lokasyon ng bumaril para malaman kung paano yung naging pagputok ng baril sa crime scene. Next. Macro etching examination of stranded or defective motor vehicles at the crime scene or in the compound of requesting party. So alam mo naman na ito, macro etching ito ginagawa to kapag kapag magpaparehistro ng mga sasakyan. Magkaiba yung macro etching sa may pag-i-stencil. So yung macro etching na sinasabi diyan sa examination kapag sa crime ito yung ginagawa nila para malaman yung body and chassis number ng isang sasakyan. Tapos malalaman din nila dito kung yung sasakyan ay tinamperan ng ibang chassis number or engine number para malaman nila kung yung sasakyan na yon kung kanino nakapangalan. Tapos malalaman din nila kung dinaya ba or pinatungan lang yung mga ibang details sa sasakyan para mailigaw yung investigation. Pwede din nilang malaman dyan kung kanino nakapangalan yung sasakyan. Tapos, yun yung magiging person of interest nila kapag yung may-ari na ng sasakyan, yung magiging person of interest nila pansamantala habang dumadaloy yung investigation. Conduct an autopsy at the PNP accredited funeral parlors. So dito naman yung kailangan talaga, halimbawa merong dead body na nakita. Tapos dadali ng PNP yon ay ng SOCO sa may crime laboratory para i-autopsy nila. So alam naman natin, di ba yung autopsy is yung para malaman kung ano ba yung cause of death ng isang bangkay. So, kailangan yon ng autopsy report para malaman kung ano ba yung sanhi ng pagkamatay ng isang biktima. Exhumation of cadavers to determine the cause of death. Dito naman, paghuhukay ng mga bangkay na nalibing na, ganon. Tapos exhumation kasi yung digging, parang digging siya dyan. Tapos yung cadavers, yung mga bangkay. So, nangyayari yung exhumation of cadavers kapag hindi pa na-autopsy yung isang bangkay na nilibing. Halimbawa, merong kaso na namatay, tapos siyempre kapag i-autopsy kasi yun, kumbaga may pipirmahan yung mga kaanak or kung sino yung responsable sa pirma dun sa pagpayag, katunayan na pumapayag sa pag-autopsy ng bangkay. So, ibig sabihin, kapag hindi pa siya na-autopsy, tapos pinahukay siya ulit, yun yung tinatawag na exhumation of cadavers, na trabaho yon ng mga taga-SOCO or nasa crime laboratory. Then, conduct of document examination or fingerprint examination in the place of requesting unit. So dito naman yung trabaho dito yung parang sa question document examination. Next. 11. Photographing of evidence related to fingerprint or document examination cases and other forensic fields where the physical evidence could not be removed or brought out the office. So, yung paliwanag dyan sa number 11 naman, di ba, napag-aralan naman natin yung photography is parang magiging documentary evidence siya sa korte. Kasi parang yung photography, yun yung magiging ebidensya mo. Di ba, hindi naman natin madadala yung crime scene sa korte. Kaya yung photography, yung magiging documentary evidence natin para ma-preserve na rin yung crime scene. Lifting of latent prints in relation to qualified simple theft cases and robbery. So ano nga ba yung latent prints? Yung latent prints yun yung mga hindi nakikita. Halimbawa, di ba? Hindi nakikitang mga fingerprints, ganun. Kumbaga, hindi siya visible sa mga naked eye natin. So ginagawa ng mga SOCO officer diyan o mga SOCO personnel is yung anuhan muna yung powder yata yun na ilalagay, tas lalagyan ng tape, tas dadalhin sa crime lab para ma-examine. Tapos yung kapag naman tinawag na patent prints, yun yung mga prints na nakikita through ng mga mata natin. Polygraph examination of the subject in the office of investigator if the name of subject is confidential. So itong polygraph examination nito parang parang yung lie detector test. Kung di ako nagkakamali, parang ganun. Next. 14. Withdrawal of fired bullet embedded in the wall of the car or building found the crime scene. So ito, Diba, halimbawa, merong naging shooting incident, tumama yung bullet sa isang pader or sa isang sasakyan. Hindi naman pwedeng yung basta police officer lang yung magtatanggal ng mga fired bullet na yon, kasi parang magiging, kung hindi sila espesyalista sa pagtanggal ng mga fired bullet na yon, baka pwedeng masira din yung yung evidence doon sa bala, na kasi pwede nilang i-examine yung bala na yon kung magmamatch yon sa barrel na ginamit sa shooting incident. Kaya kailangan yung mga magtatanggal doon may espesyalidad sa paggawa nun. Bringing of bulky evidence to the court. Dito naman, dapat hindi basta-basta yung pagdadala ng evidence, kasi baka maging admissible yung evidence pagdating na sa court. Dapat tama yung pagdadala nila para hindi maging mortal sin yun sa chain of custody. Di ba nga sabi, never mutilate, alterate, and contaminate the evidence para maging admissible siya sa court. Kaya dapat yung mga may espesyalidad, sila yung mga gagawa ng pagdadala ng evidence sa court, para na rin hindi maging sagabal doon sa may chain of custody. 16. Bringing of important office of communication to other private or government offices. Ayun, parang kagaya lang din ng number 15 na dapat yung mga merong espesyalidad, sila yung gagawa ng communication to other private and government offices.
Mandatory requirements for powers and function of the SOCO. A. Attends to all cases brought to its attention by various requesting units, higher headquarters, and the directors. So dito sa A, syempre kapag mayroong crime, tapos magre-request yung headquarters ng SOCO, kailangan pupunta doon yung SOCO. Hindi pwedeng isisinzone lang, hindi pwedeng dededmahin lang nila. So kailangan a-attend sila kung saan mayroong crime scene na kailangan sila. Tapos B, performs a daily crime scene operation on a 24-hour basis. So dito, kailangan yung SOCO, 24/7, lagi silang ready. So, kasi hindi naman natin alam kung kailan nagkakaroon ng crime. So, pwede magkaroon ng umaga, tanghali, gabi, hapon, or hating gabi. So, kailangan 24 hours laging ready yung SOCO para mag-investigate sa kung anumang crime. Next po. C. Segregates collected pieces of evidence from the crime scene and submits them for examination to the technical division responsible for its examination together with a written request duly signed by the SOCO team leader. So dito sa C, syempre alam naman natin yung trabaho ng SOCO is nagko-collect ng evidences. So ang ginagawa ng SOCO is kapag kaya rin nilang mag-collect ng evidences, ang ginagawa nila is sinasubmit nila yon for examination like fingerprints or ballistics. Pwede din sa other technical examinations. Pwede din ipasa dun sa other technical examinations about dun sa kaso na yon. Next is D. Maintains records for their operation and other activities. So dito naman, yung SOCO personnel naman, lagi nilang ginagawa yun. Ginagawa nila is na gumagawa sila ng written request, gumagawa sila ng written reports kasi kailangan yun or kasama yun sa paggawa ng mga records nila. Next is E. Submits after admission report to the director through channel. So dito, after nilang ma-compile or after nilang mapagsama-sama yung mga written reports nila or yung mga records nila, is ang gagawin nila is sesend na nila yon sa director nila. So next is F. Monitors the status of the cases which they referred to the technical divisions for proper evaluation or examinations. So dito naman sa F, kailangan yung every SOCO personnel, kailangan minomonitor nila yung status ng mga kaso na hinahawakan nila. Hindi po pwedeng porket nakakuha na sila ng mga evidences, tapos na yung trabaho nila. So hindi yun matatapos hanggat hindi napupunta yung kaso nila doon sa court. So hanggat hindi natatapos, kailangan nilang pag-aralan pa ulit, kailangan pa nilang magsaliksik about doon para hindi ma-delay yung kaso. Next is, ayun pa pala. Consolidates all examination reports coming from the technical divisions which conducted the requested examination for transmittal to the requesting units. So yun nga dito. Pagkayaring maipon or mapagsama-sama lahat ng mga reports, yung mga images, yung mga lahat ng evidences, kailangan yun ipapasa kailangan yun ipasa sa director nila or sa mas nakakataas. Yun lang po, thank you.
So, requirements for SOCO personnel. It isn't mandatory to have a degree to be a crime scene investigator, but most recent applicants are graduates, and this is more commonly becoming a deciding factor for employers during selection. A degree in one of the following subjects could be advantageous: forensic science, biological science, chemistry, criminology, psychology. So, dito po kasi wala po kaming masyadong makuhang information. So, nagtanong-tanong din po kami sa mga teachers namin. And sabi po nila, so walang specific requirements para makapasok ka sa SOCO team basta may police training or police personnel ka. Pwede po kayo mag-apply sa crime lab quota ng PNP. Then, magiging advantage na lang kung meron po kayong degree sa forensic science, biological science, chemistry, criminology, psychology. Saka, sabi po dito na hindi daw po mandatory na magkaroon ka ng degree. Pero, syempre, bilang applicants, mas malaking advantage nga kapag nakatapos ka or kapag may degree ka. Next. You can complete specific qualifications to be a crimes investigator, such as those offered by the College of Policing. This can be undertaken at the police force you work for. A qualification in digital media such as photography could also be helpful, as you'll need to gather photographic evidence and film at incidents you attend. So, sabi dito, yung kapag marunong ka sa photography, magiging helpful or pwede siyang makatulong sa'yo. Kasi katulad nga ng sinabi ni Arnold, pwede kang makagather ng evidence para i-present sa court gamit yung photography skills. Next. Key skills for science or crimes officers. Recruiters look for people who can cope well under pressure and handle sensitive situations. Other sensory qualities and skills include logical and inquiring mind. So, dito naman, kailangan may logical thinking ka. Syempre, as a SOCO personnel, kailangan malawak yung pag-iisip mo. Tapos, may interest ka na makaalam ng mga bagong bagay. Open ka magbago. Tapos, yung kaya mo mag-accept ng criticism sa trabaho mo kahit under ka sa pressure. Then, ability to remain calm sa isang stressful na situation. Next, meticulous attention to detail is, syempre, as a SOCO personnel, hindi naman pwede na may mamiss ka na kahit small details lang kasi, syempre, yung small details na yun, pwedeng makahelp siya na ma-solve yung isang case. Next, an understanding of the legal system. Yung familiar ka sa mga laws, ganun. Then, understanding of certain scientific methods. Dito naman yung hypothesis and mga experiments, tas a certain level of photography ability. Then, dito ulit yung sinabi ni Arnold, yung, syempre, hindi mo naman madadala yung crime scene sa court. So, pwede siyang makatulong. Pwede siyang pang-film ng evidence, film ng incidents. Next, excellent written and oral communication skills. So, dito naman yung reports, yung pagsusulat mo ng reports about sa isang crime na sinosolve mo, then yung pakikipag-usap mo sa mga tao. Next is good team working and problem solving ability. So, dito naman yung yung teamwork nyo ng group nyo, yung composition is later na, sasabihin siya ni Robina sa inyo. Then, hindi naman kailangan na lagi ka nakadepende sa mga kagrupo mo. Pwede ka naman maging dependent. Like sa mga informations. Yung informations nila, hindi ka doon dedepende. Pwede ka din humanap ng informations mo. Yung kumbaga hindi ka nakaasa lagi sa kanila. Yan lang po.
Dapat binubuo sila ng 8 laboratory personnel. Una, kailangan natin ng 1 team leader. So sabi dito, each SOCO team will be led by a technical officer with the rank of police inspector or police senior inspector. So ngayon, yung ranking natin, alam naman natin na nabago na yan. So ano yung equivalent ng police inspector? Di ba yan ang ating police lieutenant ngayon? And then yung police senior inspector natin ay ang ating police captain. So kahit saan naman kailangan natin ng mamumuno sa team natin, di ba? Para lahat ng mga gagawin natin ay maging organized. So next, kailangan natin ng 6 SOCO specialist or technician. Una ay yung medical legal officer. So diyan kailangan natin ng isang doktor ng medisina. Yan yung tao na expert siya pagdating sa legal medicine o yung tinatawag natin na medical jurisprudence. And next, meron tayong, kailangan natin ng forensic chemical officer or technician. Ayan naman yung tinatawag nating chemist. Hindi chemist umaasa ha. So kailangan natin dyan ay yung mga nakapagtapos ng Bachelor of Science in Chemistry o kaya yun ng mga chemical engineering. So ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga ng mga chemists? So they analyze non-biological trace evidence found at crime scene. Gaya ng mga ano ba yung mga biological trace evidences na yon? Gaya ng mga fibers, yung buhok, mga soil, mga wood, gunshot residue at iba pa. So next, kailangan din natin ng fingerprint examiner or technician sa ating SOCO team. So, sino yung mga fingerprint examiner na yan? So, karaniwan yung mga napupunta dito ay mga graduate sila ng BS Criminology. So, mga criminologists din sila gaya natin. So, pwede tayo mapunta dyan. Ano yung ginagawa ng mga fingerprint examiner? So, they are analyzing and studying the fingerprints or sometimes also the handprints and footprints para magamit din as evidence sa ating court. So next, meron tayong firearm examiner or technician. Sino ba yung mga yan? Yan yung tinatawag nating ballistician. So pwede rin tayo dyan, mga criminologists. So, ang dami nating pwedeng pasukan na trabaho. Ang kailangan lang, kwalipikado. So, ano ba yung ginagawa ng mga firearm examiner? So, they examines and identifies firearms, weapons, cartridges, criminal investigations, collects evidence at the crime scene, and testify in court concerning the results of the examination. So, ayun lang yung ginagawa nila as firearm examiner. So, next, yung photographer. Forensic photographer, sila rin yung, pwede rin dyan yung mga graduate ng BS Criminology, gaya natin mga criminologists. Kasi, di ba, pinag-aaralan natin itong forensic photography sa ating subject na forensic photography. So, pwede tayo dyan as photographer ng SOCO team. So, bakit merong photographer yung SOCO team? Kasi, they records the initial appearance of the crime scene and physical evidence in order to provide a permanent record for the court. So, isa kasi sa pinaka matibay na ebidensya yung photography pagdating sa korte. So, next, measurer or sketcher. dito hindi naman kailangan na civil engineer ka o kaya ay architect. So dito basta, minsan kasi yung mga, kahit mga police officer lang sila na magagaling mag-drawing, may mga talent sila sa pagdodrawing, sa sketching, napupunta sila dyan. Tapos, bakit importante yung measurer or sketcher pagdating dito sa ating SOCO team? They accurately portrays the physical facts and relates the sequence of events at the scene, establishes the precise location and relationship of objects and evidence at the crime scene. So normally dito sa ating measurer or sketcher, ang napupunta dyan ay mga criminologists din, since pinag-aralan kasi natin itong mga to sa ating fundamentals of criminal investigation, kung naaalala nyo pa. So sabi dyan, di ba sabi ang SOCO team daw ay kinocompose ng ilan? Anyone? Pwede ba sumagot? Ilan daw yung kinocompose? Ilang personnel meron ang SOCO team? Guys? 8. Okay, sabi dyan 8. Di ba? Bilangan nga natin. 1 team leader at 6 SOCO specialists or technicians. So, bali ilan sila? 7. Ilan sila, guys?
7.
7, di ba? Pero ang sabi dito, 8 daw. So, sino kaya yung isa? Meron bang nakakaalam kung sino yung isang nawawala dyan? May 50 pesos load sa GCash pag nasagot. So, walang may idea kung sino yung nawawala dyan, guys. So, yung isang nawawala natin ay yung ating driver or security. So, itong driver or security, siya yung magdadrive nung assigned vehicle sa ating SOCO team. At the same time, siya rin yung mag-guard o magsisecure nung area kung saan nangyari yung crime scene. Paano po kung kulang yung ating SOCO team, kung hindi sila 8? Ano yung mangyayari? So kung, for example, wala itong ating photographer, pwede na yung isang member nila yung mag-act as photographer. Ganun po ang nangyayari. So para mas maintindihan nyo, ano ba yung role ng SOCO team natin? So they work alongside police officers to help solve the crimes. Their role is to locate, collect, preserve, and catalog evidence from a crime scene. Para mas maintindihan nyo guys, meron ako ditong mas madaling i-memorize na personal ng SOCO team. So kailangan nyo lang alalahanin yung tinatawag nating top seed. Same lang siya nung kanina nating diniscuss. So top seed, team leader, assistant team leader, photographer, sketcher or measurer, evidence collector, evidence custodian, and then yung driver or security natin. So, yun lang guys. Bago natin tapusin itong ating discussion, gusto lang po namin na mag-iwan ng words of wisdom. So, we have here some words from our Bible. So in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 16, it is stated, having wisdom and understanding is better than having silver or gold. Nice and expensive items can be enjoyable, but there are very few things in life that can never be taken away, will never go out of style, and that truly make you a better person. And education is one of those things. So let us always put in mind that wisdom is power, and it is greater than any amount of money. So that would be all, guys. We hope that you learned from our discussion for today, and God bless.